Hello, Zimbabweans. When I talk about the elite in Harare, I need to become more elaborate to clarify as to who do I mean. The elite are not necessarily ZANU-PF per se or Triple C. They are just people who are strategically positioned to take advantage of the power dynamics in Zimbabwe. They are rich. Obviously, they are rich because they're elite. They are very educated and they are very good at lying in the shadows. I have noticed that how they have built ZANU-PF and built Triple C, because trust me, they control both ZANU-PF and Triple C. Okay, okay, people, Zimbabweans can be lied to if they want to. I'm way past that stage of being lied to. All right. The truth is, Idim Nangago himself is in power because the elite want him to be there. That those elite, they might be black, they might be white, they might be Indian. It doesn't matter, they are male or female, but they use the nation's institutions and use certain faces to hide behind certain faces. Even the characters of ZANU-PF themselves, some of them in ZANU-PF don't even know who the elite is. They just have some position in ZANU-PF and they think that ZANU-PF is in power. ZANU-PF is not in power. Some secret shadow government is in power. These people are rich, well connected, and they are the biggest mafia in the country. Don't worry about gold mafia, that is nothing. They are part and parcel of the looting in the reserve bank. And there's two ways of looting in the reserve bank. One is through arbitrage that we all know about, but that is just done by people like General Chiwe. I don't know if it's true. From what I heard, allegedly, some of the boys that sell money in Harare and Bulawayo are connected to General Chiwe. That's what I hear. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that is actually nothing. That is a small part. It will be done by the weaker politically connected. The stronger ones, it's through currency manipulation. The Zimbabwean currency has been manipulated over decades. And the people that do that currency manipulation are in the shadows. General Chiwanga probably doesn't even know how that game is being played. I doubt if even Idim Nangago understands how the currency manipulators steal the public wealth of all Zimbabweans via smart currency moves. The devaluing of the Zimbabwean dollar and all of that hyperinflation has always been predetermined and planned by this elite group. Whether they are in Zimbabwe or outside Zimbabwe is, I do not know. Obviously, some of them are in Zimbabwe, some are staying in London, some are in USA, some are wherever in the world, but controlling the country. These are the people that I explain. Because if you look at the ZANU-PF officials, have a lifestyle audit or even an intellectual audit of the people that are close to the president from the ZANU-PF platform, you will discover that they do not look like they have got the capability of holding the country at ransom successfully the way that the country is being held ransom. You will see that whoever is holding the country at ransom is very powerful and is very intelligent. When I'm talking about intelligence, I'm talking about Ivy League intelligence. People with degrees upon degrees, but they don't use that education to build the country. Rather, they use that education and that wisdom to oppress the rest of the Zimbabweans. People like Tafazwa Mugwadi, who's a ZANU-PF secretary of something, somewhere. Those are just faces that they use in ZANU-PF. They're not the Zimbabwean elite. People like George Charamba, these are just faces. They are not the elite I'm talking about. George Charamba is a spokesperson. Okay. I don't think he has got, I'm not saying he's not intelligent, he's intelligent, but he doesn't have the capacity to hold the country at ransom for 40 years. All right. He is the face that the real elite, the real shadow government is using. Okay. So that you and I, we are blaming Itim Nangago, we are blaming George Charamba, we are blaming who? Chris Mtwangu, we are blaming who? All of those people that we're blaming They are not the real deal. They are just there in front as front, but they are not. They are intelligent, but not that intelligent to the extent of carrying out what is being done in Zimbabwe. Because what is done by Zimbabwe is done with the help of very international people. I'm talking about top level, well educated, well placed people in positions of authority, not only in Zimbabwe, but even overseas, who are connected to global leaders and they've got access to global weaponry and therefore are able to keep the country looted dry by their resourceful ingenuity. That is not even known by ZANU PF thugs and Idi Mnangagwa. When we talk about ZANU PF thugs, I mean, these are just errant boys, man. This Chris Mtswanga who get into a plane, go to China or to Dubai to deliver gold. Actually, those are runners. Those are they are not the ones behind the ideology. Okay, there's people who do the brainstorming on how to keep Zimbabwe oppressed, and you do not know those people. They are not in the newspapers. They are not on TV. You don't talk about them. All you Zimbabweans are ever talking about is Idi Mnangagwa and Chris Mtswango and ZANU PF Politburo and the soldiers in the military, or it's a military state. Well, of course, the military is being used in it, but they are if even them, they are the smaller, they're the medium-sized fish. The real big fishes are not big because they've got guns only. They're big because they've got intellect, massive intellect, and a global reach. Okay, some of those people who might be Zimbabwean born, some of them are not Zimbabwean born. Some of them are born in other countries, but they have got international reach and therefore are rich enough to be able to withstand all sort of international pressures because they are able to put out the fires that may arise that are against them. Whether those fires are coming from the British government. They are well connected inside the British government, whether they come from New York or they are well connected in Wall Street. They are well connected in China. They are well connected everywhere. So such that whatever is coming up, they get to know and they are able to put the fires down. So this witchcraft against Zimbabwe is largely by foreigners. Very few of these people that I'm talking about are Zimbabweans. The majority of them are foreigners. Okay. They are foreigners who are multi-billionaires, who are rich, who've got access to a tremendous amount of power that you people, if you were to know about them, you will shake and not know what to do. Because even Item Nangagwa himself is afraid of those people. All right, that's how smart it is. They are the ones who are behind this whole triple C thing, all the songs or thing. They are the ones, all of these shenanigans, they are able to place people in different positions. People fighting each other. Sometimes they fight each other knowing that it's a fake fight. Sometimes it's not a fake fight. They are fighting each other because they've been influenced to fight to fight each other, but they do not know that they are supposed to be fighting each other. You see, polarization is easy, is done by these people so that when you hate each other, you will not remember some white guy from New York telling you to hate another black person. No one did that. You did it yourself. And they are able to just stand aside and claim plausible deniability and say, well, we didn't tell Zimbabweans, ZANU PF and Triple C, Barakashis to hate each other. They just don't like each other, those people. But you don't understand the deep psychological weapons that were used to drive you to get to that place where you begin to hate each other, you see each other as lesser beings, and you deteriorate the state of your well being through your own hands, fighting each other. But you do not know that the instigator was someone foreign, someone in the shadows, unseen, using his actors, both in ZANU-PF and Triple C, which might be possible that they even themselves don't even know. Such that when we say that the Triple C is also an agent, people in the Triple C will scream and say no because they do not even and they're not disagreeing because they are lying. No, they're disagreeing because they also do not know how they are being used. They do not know how they are being abused by these international agents to pretend as if the Zimbabweans are fighting each other. Okay, so you might be fighting for a cause, uh, putting so much energy on a cause that you are fighting for, thinking that you are really contributing towards the liberation of a country without knowing that actually you are being tricked. You are acting, you are doing exactly what the elite wanted to do without you knowing that they wanted you to do that, because you do not know the structure of the oppression. So there is a structural oppressive regime that has been put in place by these global players that Zimbabweans do not have got very little understanding of. Such that even the president himself does not even understand it fully. You might know a bit of the here and there, but might not fully understand the complete picture of what is going on. And I doubt if General Chiwenga understands 20% of the picture of what is going on. You see, our black people, our fathers, our parents who fought in the liberation, they are very simple. One thing I've noticed when I studied them is that they are not extremely educated. Okay. Joyce and Juru said it in an interview that when they became ministers in the 1980s, they used to go to Robert Mugabe's house so that he could teach them grade 7 material. Okay. She admitted that when they took over the country, they didn't know what is to run a country. They knew nothing. Okay. So Joyce Mchura admitted that the level of sophistication was very low. So even today, the level of sophistication in Emerson Mnangagwa and General Chiwenga is is low compared to the level of sophistication of these Ivy League professors that are destroying Zimbabwe. Okay. Now, get me well. I'm in no way undermining General Chiwenga or Emerson Mnangagwa. Don't get me wrong. I'm not undermining them at all. I just want to highlight the fact that so that we can see that there's a level of sophistication, okay, global intelligence. That General Chiwenga, yes, he fought the war for us, but he is not part of that group that is highly sophisticated, such that they can use General Chiwenga without Chiwenga noticing that is being used by these people. They can use even Itim Nangako, that Itim Nangako fully understanding how he is being used. Such is the level of their sophistication. They can even use the triple C such that the triple C doesn't even notice how. So when people like me speak against the triple C, it will almost as if I I'm distorting some kind of legal pathway of fighting for the Zimbabweans because I am not part of the Triple C. But in actual fact, it is me recognizing a certain inconsistency with the way in which the operation is being fought, and those that are on the inside not realizing how they too are being used. Perhaps they are not agents of confusion, but they do not understand also how they are positioned and how they've been placed there to create all this confusion, by very sophisticated people who understand the human conditions, first of all. That's why it was good for the Triple C MPs to all pull out of parliament and not participate. But because the sophisticated guys understand the human condition, you want to be an MP, you want kuremekedzwa. So because you want kuremekedzwa, they're going to use that against you. Once you are now an MP, you think you're important, and then they come and take it away from you. You feel like you have to fight for it. Okay, I understand that it's human nature. You feel like it's your right. You being an MP is a great achievement for you personally as a human being. Therefore, you feel like you need to go and participate even as independent and can tell the people that no, I'm fighting. I'm Nelson Chamisa's guy, so don't vote for this Songeso's guy. Vote for me. I'm Nelson Chamisa's guy, because you would feel like you need to get to parliament, but you don't realize that the war that you are fighting needs you to pull out of parliament, all of you en masse. Let Songezo Jawang, we have his own MPs, and let, I mean, I'm speaking as if the Triple C MPs and the Chamisa genuinely want to take us somewhere, okay, from that position, they would have to all pull out, okay. But but because the sophisticated guys understand your human condition, that you want money, okay. First and foremost, they can get you by money. They know that anything that has got access to money, it's very little money that you're gonna get if you're an MP, but there's more money that we will all make if ZANU-PF and this whole global system of oppression is dismantled even on a global scale. And that includes fighting it to the core and taking hits, especially even financial hits. Okay, by financial hits, I mean denying yourself uh, access to parliament. Don't participate in their elections. And also, I mean, we remember Marcus Wangerai did that some years back when he pulled out of the elections and let Mugabe run alone. Let let ZANU-PF fill the whole parliament 100% ZANU-PF, and then you are fighting now from not being part of the system, denying yourselves the legal benefits that they trick you with. All right, because I do believe that within Triple C, a lot of, especially the Triple C MPs, I don't think Triple C MPs are part of this strategic positioning of line to the Zimbabweans. The Triple C MPs, by and large, are generally Zimbabwean people in the population who get voted to into those positions by the people in their own communities. So I do not think that they are close enough to their elite to know what is truly going on. As far as they are concerned, they are just participating in elections to be MPs, but they do not know the depth of the darkness that they're getting themselves into. They do not know the snake which really is in that hole in which they are getting into. So they will fight to want to be in parliament, thinking that is a nice thing. Well, it is an achievement, as I say, that the human condition and the understanding that you people value those things, value greater MP, and therefore that it can be easily be used against you, and it will take you into a tailspin of emotions because you have lost the opportunity to be an MP. Trust me, you have not lost no opportunity. The fight from outside is the much more worthy fight, and it's got a better outcome in the long term than the fight of accepting the the trappings of Satan. All right. So let's engage Chavangwe and his fake MPs get whatever it is that they want. But you, history will judge you differently if you are the ones who take yourself out of it all and say, okay, we are really fighting the regime. All right. I'm speaking on behalf of the Triple C MPs because I do not believe that the Triple C MPs are coerced into this deception. But however, I cannot say the same about the Triple C top tier leadership, whom to me really just a bunch of CIO that are part of the elite, destroying the chance of a true revolution to take place in Zimbabwe. Let me leave this thing here.